So I keep telling myself, um, I got a gift, you know. Well, the Lord has given me a gift that I can communicate with people. I don't know how, but it just happens. They listen to me. I listen to them. I don't know. It's weird. Um, but people feel comfortable talking to me. And in this space of realizing that people feel comfortable talking to me, I discovered that a lot of people are in pain. A lot of people are hurting. A lot of people feel alone. A lot of people feel like they need to be giving up. More people than we think. More people than people that we sit right next to. People that we talk to on a regular basis. I saw a meme one time that said, check on your happy friends. And it was like Chris Farley and that girl from Clueless. Um, what's the dude name? Come on. Miss Doubtfire. I can't think of his name right now. Him. It was like all of these people who are like so funny and like, but all committed suicide or died somehow from overdose or whatever. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is you're not alone. And I have to realize that myself because a lot of times I feel alone. And I know what feeling alone, how that makes me feel, and the choices that it makes me make. And because I feel like the Lord is bringing me out of that, I want to help other people be brought out of that as well. Um, I know it sounds cheesy, but I think I'm gonna start a podcast. I don't even know if it's gonna be a podcast. It might just be me recording videos and sending them, and then I don't know. I don't know what it's gonna be, but I just feel like in this time period, we need some uplifting. And over the year of 2020, at the beginning of the year, as we all do, I made my resolutions of the things that I was going to do, some of the things that I feel comfortable saying out loud, some of the things I don't. Um, and that's another thing, but we'll get to that later. Um, but I definitely made a commitment to start putting God first and opening up and making those prayers. Because I got to a point where church was so traditional. It's like, oh, I have to be like this or whatever. And it was honestly making me sick to the point where I literally left my church almost 2 years ago, if not longer than that. Um, it was making me sick. Like I was just like, this is ridiculous. I felt worse going and cut. Like it was just, oh, I just, church wasn't it for me. And it wasn't that God wasn't it for me, just church wasn't it for me. And I stopped going. I started to go online and such, and then next thing we knew, everybody was going online. Um, but that's where I met God. You know what I'm saying? Like, and in the midst of all of this, so I stopped going to church, which I thought was, as I keep talking, you'll understand how funny this is. Um, so my best friend since middle school, my best friend, she had moved away. She lives in New York City, and um, she had got really in tune to God all of a sudden. That I had noticed, and I'm like, what's going on here? And that growing up, I was all about God. It was like God, 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 God. And she's like, all right, whatever, man. It's not like she didn't respect my values. It's just like she wasn't at that place, and I just never, whatever. So now here we are, adults, and I'm just a little bit like, now church. I'm like, and she's over here like the Lord, and I'm like, girl. So yeah. So now she's like, oh, I went to God. I'm like, what? So she and I happened to have a conversation, and she was just saying that it doesn't have to be like this conversation. Our prayers doesn't have to be like this long, oh Lord, and then she was like, yo, it's just like a conversation. And I was like, you know what? You're right. He already know. There's things I'm trying to hide from him. Like I don't, like he don't already know. Like he ain't make me. He don't already know what I'm thinking. Like the dude know how many hairs I got on my head. How he don't know what I'm thinking or what I'm about to do or whatever. Um, so that kind of spoke to me, and I was like, okay, you're right. So I started to stop trying to have these conversations with God, and I was like, yo, what up? It's me. This is what's going on. This is what I need. You know more what I need. Decipher what I'm saying so you can pick out what I really need, Lord. You know, um, so I kind of started my journey. I'm trying to get real with God and shake the things that I know that I need to shake and all that stuff. So I say all that to say, I guess, I found that I'm not the only one suffering. I found I'm not the only one going through. And I found I'm the only one not having the thoughts that I'm having. A lot of people are having the same thoughts. A lot of people are discouraged. A lot of people, and just, life on its own is hard. But, we're dealing with coronavirus and we're dealing with, this racial injustice that's now being smacked in our face. It's not like we didn't know about it already. It's now being, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Publicized. So now everybody knows. And I was like, oh my God, this thing is happening that has been happening to these people for years. And that's the other thing. I'm realizing that a lot of the pressure and all the things that I feel is just because of the society that I live in, the messages that I have been sent, and the things that I started to carry unnecessarily. That's a different topic. That's another show. But anyway, I guess I'm trying to get to the point of I'm realizing that God is what we need. Um, and I'm trying to learn how to, on a day to day basis, seek God, hear God, be like God, and not in a cocky sense, but in a Lord, Jesus came down here and he did this. I ain't Jesus, but I know that the possibility is there. So help me be what you want me to be, essentially. Um, and I'd like to use the things that I find on my journey that help me to help other people. Like I had a childhood friend say to me that she tried to commit suicide twice. And I didn't even know what to say. Like, what? That's a problem. That's a problem. The devil came and kill, steal, and destroy, and that's exactly what he's doing. And we have to be aware and equipped to call on the name of Jesus in those times of need and not go to the other things that we've learned as comfort, whether that's drinking, smoking, eating, whatever. Excuse my French, but y'all know what I mean. Whatever it is that we cling to when we are feeling this way, we gotta shut that out and we gotta cling to the ultimate source, which is God. Um, so if you know me, I've been talking about this podcast idea for years, at least probably about 4 years. Different podcasts. I know this one girl we was gonna do two peas in a podcast, which is dope. Me and another friend we're gonna do stuff I wish I would have known. That's a good one. Oh, I forgot the other one that we were gonna do. Four and a possible, three and a possible, three and a possible. It was three black girls and a white girl. Three and a possible. Um, and then kind of what I'm gearing more towards now is Godcast. Even though that's somebody else's thing, I looked it up. I was like, ooh, this somebody already doing Godcast, and keep doing it because it's definitely needed. I think I'm gonna settle on You Are Not Alone. I am you. But it's not me. It may be me physically, but it's him. The Lord is the person that has equipped me to be able to do whatever he is gearing me up to do to help his people. I don't know what this is about, what has been on me for a minute. It's always something that I wanted to do. It's like a team talk type thing. I always wanted to be on team talk. I always wanted to be the person that they called. I don't know why I'm just so weird like that. I just be trying to help people. Like my mom said it the other day. She was like, "This is my daughter that always wants to make sure that everybody is okay." And you know what I've learned? That the reason why I do that is because how much I value it when I'm in those situations and there's just some random person there who's there to help me, who doesn't even realize how important their job is at the time. I remember when I was going to Oswego, I was having some difficulties, as we all do in college, if you know what I mean. I was having some difficulties, and the only person I was able to confide in was the nurse practitioner. And if she knew today how much her presence and her advice helped me get through that time period, mm, but that's what I'm saying. So, like, we have to realize when we're in a position to be a blessing to somebody else and to take pride in that and value it. Like people talk about, like if you're not a people person, don't be in the field helping people. It's the truth, because just as much as you can influence somebody to make a positive change, you can influence them to make a negative one as well. Um, and those negative ones can be more detrimental than we think. Um, so this is me finally recording the things that I'm thinking. I will definitely have to edit this, and look at me, I look completely crazy. I literally what stemmed this for me, I guess I'll tell the story because I think this is the whole point of me getting on, was to tell the story. The reason why I'm saying this is because God is always going to take care of you. God is always going to provide, and you just have to put yourself in a position to receive it. Um, Again, I've been on this journey praying and kind of opening up, and since the beginning of the year, I'm just like, yo, I'm just gonna talk to God all the time, like all the time. I'm trying to stop drinking, so I'm like, yo, I need to be in tune to God so He can help me. And I had a little bit of a, it wasn't really an issue, but me and my supervisor had exchanged some words, and I took offense because I don't. If anybody know me, I work hard. I do the best that I can at everything I do, pretty much. And I get mad at myself sometimes because I can go harder than I actually do, and if I do like minimum, it's all like my minimum is amazing. So like only if imagine my full blown bruh. But anyway, um, wait, Yolanda Adams. We talk periodically, but should be every day. Can you imagine how it would be if I let you lead the way? So that's okay. Anywho, so I had what they call supervision. So you talk to your supervisor or whatever. So I'm talking to her, and in the midst of our conversation. So okay, so we had kind of like we exchanged some words and since then I've just been trying to go through the motions, how it goes. So I was like, we were talking and something else came up which kind of triggered the last conversation. And I was debating whether or not I should say something. I was praying all morning because I knew I had supervision. I was like, Lord, help me, like work this thing out, like teach me what I need to say, blah, 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 blah. Like help me, Jesus. And at the beginning of the conversation, she kind of opened it up, like, is there anything you want to talk about? And I was like what? Like, I don't really have anything to talk about. But in the midst of the conversation, my concern came up. And I wasn't going to say anything, but I felt like it was my opportunity. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to say how I feel. And I did. But the thing that killed me is I started to get emotional. And as we all know, crying is bad. You cannot cry, especially in professional setting. You don't do that. And that's a message that is sent very strong to us. And in the moment, I was like, bump it, I'm already here. So I said what I had to say, and luckily we were able to see eye to eye or see where the other person was coming from, which was good. But I choked up. And at my first professional job after college, I had choked up talking to one of my bosses. Like, I didn't even choke up, I literally fell apart. Like, I literally had a mental breakdown talking to my supervisor at my first job out of college. And another supervisor called me in the office and she was like, yo, don't ever do that again. She's like, don't ever let these people see you sweat. And I was like, you know what, you're right, I can't be doing that. I gotta be strong, I'm a black woman. So I was like, all right, bet, never again. I don't care. So I'm like, all right, bet. Never did it at work again, any work setting, ever again. So here I am, probably over 10 years later. Never done that again. Maybe be strong enough. Mind you, I'm in my crib. She can't even see me. And I'm sitting here like, oh, I can feel it. And I'm like, oh. So, I just come out and say what I had to say, like, yo, blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional, but this is what it is. And she was just like, I'm sorry, da, da, da. And, again, we were able to get to a point where we understood where the other person was coming from. But after I got off the phone, I felt terrible. I'm like, nah, this don't make sense. You felt terrible after the first conversation. You feel terrible again. Like, what? But I felt terrible because I cried. So here I am beating myself up because I cried, not realizing that the Lord has literally just solved my problem. The thing that I have been worrying about, He gave me the opportunity to talk about, but I'm mad because I cried. So what? Nah. If your boss, okay. If everybody at work know you, okay. So what? Did you do what you were supposed to do? Did you work it out with your supervisor? Yeah. That's the part that you need to focus on. And then you need to do better for the future. But I'm over here mad because I cried. Basically, what I'm saying is the Lord is going to take care of you. I've been praying about that for like 3 weeks. Literally, I didn't know what to say, how I was going to blah, 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 blah. And it's funny because I'm listening to Stephen Furtick this morning, and he was just like, we want change, but we only want change if it's something that we can control and something that we can handle. And here I am. I want the change, but I don't want whatever comes with that change. And unfortunately, with that change came my tears. Yeah, I'm a little embarrassed. It is what it is. But my need got met. I was able to say what I needed to say. We're now on the same page. We have a better lines of communication, and we're both committed to working on that. That's literally what I needed. But I didn't want it in that package. But I had to be okay with that. So, like, I'm just saying that we got to let go of all of our crap. Like, all of that stuff that's holding us down from moving forward. And, like, oh my God, like, it's the little things that get us caught up. It's the little stuff. And we gotta learn how to let that stuff go. I'm just a nobody trying to tell everybody about somebody who can save anybody. You said I'm just a nobody trying to tell everybody